What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome back to episode number 53 of Park to Prem here with Nottingham Forest. Today we have a huge game against Chelsea. Yes, the old enemy, a team who last year, they completely capitulated, they sacked their manager, and even this year they find themselves some way off the pace. They currently sit in fourth. We are top of the league and unbeaten, but if our previous meetings is anything to go by, it's not going to be an easy game for us. Obviously, this head-to-head record extends back further than when I was in charge. But even during my time at the club, we have only beaten Chelsea once in the league. It was last season. It was a 2-1 win away from home. We're going to hope that we can match that once again today. Now, I did say previously that I was going to focus on the Champions League, but we are already out of the group and top. Obviously, because we won the Europa League, we got a first seed spot in Group A, and, well, we kind of enjoyed ourselves, everyone. It's been a very, very straightforward campaign, as we will come on to as we go through the results since you were last here. Now, I thought today we'd go through some of these games, and then we would have a look through the squad a little bit, maybe a bit of a who's who, look at the hierarchy, the dynamics, give you a bit of an idea as to, how the dressing room is shaping up as a whole here at Forest. Anyway, since you were last here, we've played, I think, 10 games in all competition, if I can count correctly. It's 9. I can't count. I've recounted. 9 wins. We've been very, very good. Lots of clean sheets as well. I feel like that is the big takeaway here is we're scoring a lot, but we look exceptional defensively so far this season. And, well, we started things off with a game in the Champions League against Rennes, away from home. It was a Paulo Silva late goal straight after they had a man sent off. We dominated the game, should have won it, did win it. And while we followed it up with 2 4-0 wins in the league, the first away from home against Selhurst Park was a good one. Rotated 11 for this game was, a nice opportunity, I suppose, to change things up. As you can see, Amlo with a goal. Ionu also getting a couple more goals for his record this year. He's looking pretty good as an option on off the bench and indeed as just a backup striker this year. Easy to forget he's only 20 years old and lots of green arrows. I think his finishing's gone up from 13 to 14. I don't want to get too carried away here, but I think he could be world class, everyone. Anyway, the very next game was against Bournemouth. This one finished 4-0. Had one of the weirder goals I think I've seen this year in Football Manager in it. I'm not going to show you all the goals, but this one absolutely deserves to be seen. Yeah, I don't know either. I don't really know how to describe it. Look, it ended up in the back of the net. 4-0 it finished. A good result. Tell you what else was a good result. A 5-1 win against Milan. Yes, in the Champions League, we'd won our first 2 games away from home against Milan. I expected it to be a tough ask, and to be fair, it was a very even game, and it was a tough game, but we put on an absolute clinic when it came to our finishing. 4 goals from centre midfielders in this game. Lind got us off to the flyer with a finish into the bottom corner, picked his spot, bent it in there. A few minutes later, Largo made it 2-0 in this game. Of course, Largo, the big £103 million man. Let me tell you now, he's been worth each and every penny. He got a hat-trick in this game. He got another one in the 24th minute. And whilst they did reply via Musa, it was 3-1 at the break. And we were very much in control of this game. It was a good goal for them, to be fair. But going into the second half, Boyer got injured. We rotated things around just a little bit. And, well, he got on the score sheet. And then Largo in the 85th minute. A few occasions this year, he's got 2 goals to his name. Today, he wanted the hat-trick. He got that hat-trick. A really lovely goal for him. I feel like he finds himself so consistently in this same kind of pocket of space at the edge of the area. Just, off to the right of the penalty spot. He's there. He's lurking. On this occasion today, he was clinical. 5-1, great win. That put us in a really commanding position in our group. Anyway, we followed that up with a 3-0 win against Leicester. In this game, Gonzalez scored 2 in the space of 5 minutes. The first from the penalty spot. Another really nice finish not long after. But unfortunately, his goals in this game were the last that he got in our recent run of games because he's out injured for a few weeks. Much like last year where he got injured at the end of the season, he's going to be missing a few weeks for us. And, well, it's going to be up for our remaining players, I suppose, to make up the goals that we may be lacking with him not available. Did also score in this game. In the EFL Cup, we made it through against Villa. We didn't make it easy for ourselves. It went to penalties, but, well, we got the job done at the end. You can see here, Hamada ended on a 7.7. He also scored a penalty. Now, I know loads of you are thinking I'm just being really rude and bad-mannered. No, he's got 12 penalty taken, everyone. He's got 12 penalty taken, 12 composure. He's literally one of the best penalty takers in our team, which isn't saying a great deal because we're not that good at penalties, but he got a crucial one here. We made it through. Obviously, the EFL Cup last year was a bit of a disappointment for us, and, well, it very nearly was again there. We then beat Newcastle 3-1. Some really nice goals in this game for us. With a tremendous free kick from range into the top corner. Since he signed his new contract, he's been a little bit hit and miss, but he's starting to, I feel like, find that form of last year that saw him be so dominant. Amlo scored in this game. Not long after, into the second half, Largo scored. And whilst they got a late consolation, which I'm not even going to show you because it's not worth showing you, it was comfortable at 3-0. We looked very comfortable, as I've just said. It was never really in danger. Disappointing to lose the clean sheet, I suppose, but a really good display away from home at St James's Park. We then took on AC Milan, where we beat them 3-1 here. In this game, they took the lead in the 3rd minute, a corner that was not dealt with very well. They tucked it into the bottom corner. The good news was for us, we had shooting boots on and some really nice finishes. Van Dijk replied within a matter of minutes. Then we had to wait a little while, but it was worth the wait. Ionu, maraudering in from the left-hand side, hit it like a sledgehammer into the top corner. Keeper had no chance. Not long later, Van Dijk, very similar area of the pitch, turned a defender inside and out, guided his shot towards the far post, found the back of the net, 3-1, and with that, we were top of the group and through. Most recently, we took on Aston Villa, 2-0 in this one. Poyana and Ramirez with the goals for us. And well, speaking of Ramirez, of course, the Mexican defender with a load of talent. You may remember, at the start of the season, he couldn't play defensive midfielder. Through a combination of training him there and giving him some decent first-team minutes there, you can see 8 appearances. He has learnt the position, everyone, very, very quickly, which tells me he has really, really good versatility, which is a hidden attribute, determines how quickly players can pick up new positions. Obviously, he can play centre-back and centre-mid already, so he should be learning centre-defensive mid pretty darn quickly. But it goes without saying that with him picking up that position, so quickly, I feel like he could be the option that we play ahead of Miguel Antonio at ball-winning midfielder. Is that blasphemous? I don't know. Given the fact he's 20 years old with a load of potential, he's consistent, he looks very, very good. I feel like he could be the ball-winning midfielder of the future. Miguel Antonio, your days may be numbered, my friend. Anyway, that kind of catches you up into the game since you were last here. We've been in great form. As I said, we've looked amazing defensively. Besides the games against Milan, we've not been truly tested in this run of games. But with our current form being so good, only Manchester United are currently able to keep up with us. You can see we have got a little bit of a gap building over Arsenal in 3rd, Chelsea in 4th, while a win today for us would put us in a golden position with 13 games gone of the season. You can see here, Largo, 5 player of the matches to his name. Gonzalez, obviously, as I mentioned, suffering from an injury a little bit. He can actually play, although he's going to be lacking match fitness. I think we'll chance him, though, in a game as big as this one. 10 goals to his name so far this year. Hopefully, he's going to keep that goal-scoring record going. And even Toby, 7 clean sheets to start the year. Not quite on par with the likes of United and Arsenal. But make no mistake, if we can keep clean sheets in half of our games, given how potent we are going forward, it's going to be a very, very good season for us. Anyway, you can see here in terms of issues, it's largely a happy dressing room. I feel like with us trimming down the squad over the summer, that's helped alleviate some of the issues with rotating the team, keeping players happy. In fact, if we just look at players in the squad, you can see here, besides Carl Stokes and Ricketts, who's been out injured, each and every player in the first team has had at least a little bit of exposure to the first team, which is a really, really good position to be in. That's exactly what I want to see. With us having essentially 2 starting 11s, that ability to freely rotate things and change things game to game is hopefully going to allow us to go deep in each and every competition that we go into, but also it does just keep the atmosphere really, really good. I suppose the only downside is that if you're giving, players fairly even game time like we are right now, everyone wants to be a first-team player. The backups, they don't realise they're backups, everyone. So that's perhaps something to be a little bit mindful of as we go further into the year. You can see here, Benavides wants to go out on loan to Leeds. I mean, look, I've not made a promise to him, and he's actually made, a handful of appearances for us this year. He's a really good right back. I need him for depth. I'm sorry, Miguel. Learn your worth, mate. You are worth something here. Either way, if we just look at the dynamics, I think this is a really telling thing about the club. Piotr, and Smith considered the team leaders in the dressing room, and with them having such fantastic personalities, professional, perfectionist, fairly professional in the case of Smith. It just bleeds throughout the team. One thing that I see people talk about a lot is, hey, Jack, all my youngsters, all my players, their determination's just dropping for no reason. Your hierarchy and the personalities of the players higher up the pecking order bleed down through the team. If your team leaders aren't very determined and you've got your youngsters obviously playing in the first team, they're not quite going to be as determined. So for us to have 3 players at the top here who are just really good role models, obviously professionals, in the case of Urk, just a perfectionist, which is one of the best personalities you can have, it really gives us a good footing going down. You can see the highly influential area is perhaps a little bit bloated, but that just comes down to the fact that we've not really had a high turnover in first-team players. If you have a squad that's settled, if you're not signing and selling a load of players, generally speaking, you will see it get a little bit bloated in this area of the pitch. But you can just see, just looking via the personalities, we've not got any real disruptive influences in the higher areas of the pecking orders. We've not got any players who are mercenaries, who are unprofessionals, who are, low self-belief or just not very determined. And when it comes to the social groups as well, there's no outcasts. Everyone loves everyone here. We're just one big happy family. It's a really good position to be in, actually. Whilst there's a few players having a few concerns, generally speaking, morale is high. Results on the pitch are good. And we just look really good, to be fair, as a whole. I'm very, very content with where we're at, and I'm hoping that this year we can actually make a really good run, I think, for the Champions League if all goes to plan. If we just look at squad performances, Largo has been absolutely standout since he joined us. Average rating, 7.76. That's bananas. He's only 24 years old as well. You can see, obviously, enjoys important matches, loves his consistency as well. 2 factors that weren't readily available. It's really weird. I'm sure you've seen this yourselves. If you scout a player and they're consistent and like important matches, when you actually sign them, the game doesn't, register that. But that is, one thing that I've really tried to, I guess, keep throughout the team is that consistency. Obviously, Toby in goal is the one area of the pitch where I'd like improvement. If we just look at the squad as a whole, obviously, the 3 goalkeepers we have right now, Toby, who starts, his backup man is Hamada, who, to be fair to him, probably deserves a few more first-team opportunities, the 21-year-old, but he's happy to be a backup. Recently signed a new contract at the club as well, which is really exciting. And of course, Carl Stokes, who was our goalkeeper back in the Championship, he is just still here chilling everyone. Obviously, third choice goalkeeper is a really nice position to have a homegrown at club player. It helps with quotas in terms of foreign players in the Premier League, helps in Europe when it comes to squad registration and lack of, homegrown at club players. So to have someone like him is just really useful. That said, Toby is a player who I think when you look at the rest of the squad, there is perhaps a few more question marks over. Defensively, you can see, obviously, Ricky Picky, or Piccione, I think is how you say his name, which I think translates as Pigeon. Maybe I'll just call him Pigeon. I've not decided what to do with Ricardo here. There's so many nickname potentials, I just don't know what to do. He's been very good, though, since he's joined us. He's actually outperformed Piotr slightly. You can see he has now become a regular fixture of the Italian national team, which is great to see. Benavides, talked about him already, but he's improved a lot at right back. I'm not sure quite how much potential he has, but for a squad like ours, he's a pretty darn good second choice behind Sampaio, who, as you can see here, has actually improved quite a lot. If we look at Sampaio's development, in the last 12 months, he's shown some really good progress all round, which, when actually you look at his development since he joined the club, it's a little bit interesting. I feel like he's improved more in the last year than he did at any time prior to that. So I've still got high hopes that Sampaio is kind of going to continue to develop to become a world-class defender. I say that now. He's already an elite centre-back in the eyes of the media. Of course, he plays wing-back for us. So if that can update to wing-back, I'll be happy. He is just absolutely top draw, though. Piotr's held down a spot. One thing I have seen in the comments is, Piotr v Silva, who is better? I mean, if you took it on face value and looked at just attributes, you would probably say Silva is marginally better. But the big difference between the two of them is the consistency. I can't stress this enough. Obviously, you can see the consistency of Silva here. You can see the consistency of Piotr here. Consistency, dumbed down quite significantly here, is essentially how consistently do players perform to the attributes you see here. So you might have a player who's way better than Piotr, which maybe you can make an argument Silva is. But if he's not consistent, then he's never ever going to outperform Piotr on the pitch. And for that reason, and given Piotr's influence, I like having him as the regular starter. He's consistent. He's good in important matches. He's a leader on the pitch as well, which I think is a really significant factor. I know for a fact someone's going to probably point at the average rating difference between the two players. It's worth mentioning Silva playing in cup games, playing against weaker opposition, generally speaking, as part of the rotated 11. Obviously, at left-back, we've currently got Matty filling in here. Matty, I feel like, is a bit of a James Milner for us. He just kind of slots in wherever and does the dirty work. This year, Luis Navio has had a few more injuries than previous seasons, which is a little bit of a cause for concern. You can see here he's actually had 4 injuries since July, a few of which have seen him miss a few weeks of football. It is always a concern with Navio, despite his incredible overall ability, the fact he is injury-prone. You will notice he is inconsistent, but because he is just so good compared to any other left-back, naturally I feel like he's just the go-to starter for us. Unfortunately, today he's not available for selection, so Matty fits in. We've talked about Ronaldo Ramirez already, but I love this guy. Loads of potential, consistent performer. Give that a big tick in the WorkTheSpace checkbox of things we're looking for. I feel like ball-winning midfielders are hard to come by, and you know what? If he can be a ball winner with 18 passing, he's going to be a blooming good ball-winning midfielder. Obviously, Largo and Lind in the midfield are just kind of 2 household names. Worth noting, actually, at the moment, Lind has got a little bit of interest in him from other English clubs. Of course, elite English talent is at a premium. I don't really have any intention of selling him. He's one of the best deep line playmakers in the world. You can see here he absolutely adores big matches, apparently, which I don't remember being a thing before. I don't know if that has just improved a little bit as of late. I feel like stuff like important matches and consistency can, improve and go down over time. If a player puts in some good performances in big games, I do feel like their important matches rises slightly. Maybe that's my brain just kind of confirmation biasing stuff, but that's a pattern I've noticed at the very least. Obviously, Poyana, Amlo. I don't need to start Amlo today because we can bring Gonzalez back into the team, and we're absolutely going to do that. I mean, Gonzalez is just the perfect advance forward, isn't he? I can big him up all I want. He's very, very good. And obviously in the wide areas, we've got and Poyana, who this year have been our starters. I will say now, Poyana's been maybe a tad disappointing in the league. So far, a 6.92 average rating as a right winger. But of course, we've got very, very good backups. Boyer can play out on the right. Van Dijk can play out on the left. Both, well suited to the roles that they play on either of those wings. Amlo's been a very, very good backup striker. He's got 4 goals in the league this year with very limited game time, which I think is a testament to just how good he is. He and Ionu have been sharing the kind of leftover time when Gonzalez isn't available for selection. On the whole, though, I really, really like the squad depth and where we're at. Players like Paulo Silva being on the bench is great. Miguel Antonio, I've got questions over Miguel Antonio. He's got 3 years left on his current deal. But if we just go to offer him a contract, actually, he's lowered his demands. In the summer, he was asking for £220,000, which is a bit of a sticking point. He has 3 years left on his current deal, so I don't feel a pressure right now to immediately renew it. But he was a player who I was weighing up selling, and even if we were to be able to solve the contract dispute, I just like Ramirez more. Maybe, I think I might be a Ramirez fanboy, everyone, and I'm only just coming to terms with it. I'm starting the Ramirez fan club. In fact, no, we have too many fan clubs already. It can be the Ramirez Appreciation Society. If you want to sign up, you just have to write in the comments that you've joined and you are officially signed up. Obviously, elsewhere in the team, Ricketts is coming back from a really, really long-term injury. He obviously got his knee screwed up, I think it was, during the Europa League. He is on a long road back to recovery. He will be back maybe in 3 weeks. In his absence, Ferguson's been getting a decent amount of football as a Mazzala. 7 appearances in all competition, only 2 in the league, but you can see here, just by his 3 Champions League appearances, just how much I have been willing to rotate the team in Europe. It's been quite fortunate, really. I talked about it, but because we won the Europa League, we came in as kind of first seeds in the group. So we were always going to get a relatively easier group. And I do feel like in Rennes, who, if we just look, they scraped 4th place in Ligue 1 after a number of years. I've never been in Europe before. But between them and Ghent, who have been even worse, we got a very fortunate draw. Of course, we have beaten Milan twice, which is great. But I have been able to use this Champions League as a bit of a warm-up exercise. If you were to compare this to the group of death we were in a few years ago, it's been pretty kind, and it's afforded me the opportunity to rotate the team more than perhaps I was expecting. Elsewhere, players like Huhtinen haven't quite got as much first-team football as I would like. At 22 years old, he's a good squad player. He's not the most amazing defender, which might sound a bit odd because he is a centre-back, but he's very, very good with the ball at his feet. And I feel like especially as a kind of fourth or fifth choice centre-back in a squad who's very frequently coming on against weaker opposition, his defensive capabilities aren't tested to the same degree. And so far, he's been able to put in some good performances. Not in the league just yet, but starts in the Champions League and Carabao Cup. Ionu's perhaps the big question mark, a bit of an enigma. I'm not sure what to do with him. Of course, he had been playing out on the right, cutting in on his left foot last year. With the change to the right winger being a winger now in our system, he obviously doesn't quite fit in there to the same degree. You can see so far this year, he's made 7 appearances out on the right wing, but actually his best performances have come as a striker. And obviously with Amlo still in the squad, he and Amlo are fighting over basically the time that they can play behind Gonzalez. I do wonder, maybe if I do sell on Amlo, or if I do, start to phase Amlo out the first team a little bit, could Ionu step up and be the immediate backup to Gonzalez? And the honest answer is, I think he probably could be. Obviously, not quite as good in the air as Amlo. He's not two-footed. To be fair, the two players offer slightly different aspects off the bench, but I do think one of them is going to have to give longer term. And of course, that's without even talking about Bill Summers, who I'm also trying to get a little bit of first-team football to. It is a little bit of a juggling act, it feels like, to have all these young strikers, trying to give them game time whilst trying to keep everyone happy. So far, I'm kind of crossing my fingers here. I think we're doing an okay job, but, time will tell in that regard. And of course, another player worth talking about a little bit is Ethan Leake. Did have a little bit of interest in him in the summer. No bids came in for him. At 25 years old, he's a really good versatile defender, a bit of a John O'Shea perhaps, but he's inconsistent, he's injury prone. Obviously, he's English, which is very, very useful. He's played for the England national team very frequently. I do feel like he's a player who lacks perhaps a little bit of the quality that we have elsewhere in the team. If we just compare him to Benavides here, for example, I don't think there's a world where you'd ever play him at right back over Benavides right now. There's not a world of difference between them, but at 20 years old, with much fewer downsides compared to Leake, who of course is injury prone and inconsistent, he's a weird player because I like his versatility on the bench, but I think, again, his days in the first team could be numbered. Anyway, that's a little bit of a roundup with where we're at position to position. Another player I've not talked about is Gibbons. He's English, very important for us with our restrictions on foreign players. Super consistent. I like him. I feel like if I was to sell on Miguel Antonio, Gibbons would step up and be the backup ball winner. Right, I think I've talked about just about everyone I wanted to talk about. I feel like sometimes it's nice just to sit down and give you a little bit of a run through of the team and exactly where my head's at with different players, because I realise that in normal episodes where I'm just playing through, I don't always give you an insight into, where my head's at in terms of a pecking order, position to position. So today I thought it'd be quite nice just to look through the team. I think the big takeaway, to be honest, is the whole squad is really, really well balanced. It's a squad where I don't feel like there's a glaring weakness in it. I think there's room for improvement, but only really by recruiting truly world-class players, a bit like Largo and Piccione, to be honest. But we'll see how we get on here. As I said, I've only beaten Chelsea once as manager in the league. The rest of the time, I think we've lost as well. There's not been many draws in there, if any. Today, though, I think this is the first game ever where really we come to their backyard as the favourites to get a win. And while within the first minute, we've got a set piece. Piotr just heading it over the crossbar. But no, we need a win here. Make no mistake, I expect us to win this game against Chelsea. For as imposing as they've been in previous years, Lampard was sacked in the summer. They've been finding their feet a little bit. Of course, this is Largo playing against his former club. They are going to be capable, or not capable, they're going to be aware of what he is capable of. They're not going to be capable. We're going to make them incapable by the end of this game. I don't even know what that means. We're going to shut them down. Don't let James get it in. Ruiz James. Worth noting, Chelsea still retaining their old identity. Players like Reece James and Kai Havertz still in the squad is pretty cool to see this far in the future. Anyway, Gonzalez finds himself in the wide area, manages to turn his man. No one really in the middle. He's swarmed, but he's going to see what he can do all on his lonesome. Gives it to Largo almost on the end of it. Ball lumped forward. A few people asked about Smith up front for Chelsea a couple of episodes ago. Did I look at signing him after they missed out on Champions League football? Oh my word, Gonzalez, he's got in there. He's tucked it away. What a ball by Erk. And the answer to have I considered signing Smith is yes. I don't think we need him because we've got Gonzalez, and also Chelsea want over £200 million, and I don't need him. Gonzalez is capable of finishes like this. I think the defender and the goalie, bit of a breakdown in communication there. The ball by Erk really put it into a corridor of uncertainty where neither was sure what to do with it, and in the end, Gonzalez has pounced on the miscommunication. And well, speaking of the devil, he's here again, coming back from injury. Don't forget that. He's not really 100% fit here, Gonzalez, but you wouldn't know he'd missed the last few games of football. And well, that's why I've not signed Smith. Gonzalez bangs that into the top corner. Smith on that occasion hits it over. I realise that I'm just inviting fate to punish me by talking about how bad Smith is. Matty here goes short to Lind. They've prepared for our long throw, and that's not what we've done here. Lind now with it. Tries to pick out Matty. Not a great ball forward. Pedri on the break. Can he score this? He should score this. And Piccione, or Piccione, or Ricky Picky, or Pickled Rick. There's lots of nicknames that we can give him. He's got a huge block there. That was absolutely insane. Crunching tackle. I thought he'd scored. I'll be honest, I thought Pedri had scored. £70 million for a centre-back seemed mental. If you can put in tackles like that, then it won't be mad at all. It'll be one of the best signings ever. Anyway, Ramirez so far has looked pretty adept in the first team here. I feel like he reminds me of Poyana last year, a player who I didn't think would be starting much for us, but now he's here. He's holding down his spot, really. And, well, we're going to VAR. Could we have another goal here? We've been very, very good, conceding very few in the league. If we did take a 2-goal lead here, I'd back us to hold on to it. What is the referee going to give, though? He's had a look at his monitor. He's looked. He's given the penalty. And I think it's going to be Largo over it. It is going to be Largo against his former club. He's a good penalty taker. I'm bigging him up here. He's going to miss it. Largo, score it for me. There you go. Against the former club. Celebrates in front of them as well at Stamford Bridge. He does not give a Scooby-Doo. He's gone full-on wacky waving inflatable tube man on them there. Right in front of the home fans. Reminds them of what he used to do for them. And make no mistake, he's been absolutely top draw. I was a little bit hesitant to spend £100 million on a centre mid. You know, how big of an impact can that have? Let's be honest, the answer is a resounding, it can have an absolutely massive impact. He's been absolutely top draw for us. And, well, we take a 2-goal lead into the half-time, which you could argue we're a little bit fortunate to be in the position of. There's not been many chances either way, but we've just been super clinical with ours. And the one golden opportunity that they had, obviously Ricardo saved the day with. I'm going to make a change here. Poyana started the half slowly. I'm going to bring in Boyer, who I still don't feel like's hit the ground running just yet, the Frenchman. Of course, signed from Porto last year. He's been getting a little bit of first-team football and playing okay for us, and then he keeps getting little injuries that kind of phase him out of the team for a few weeks. He's not got an extended run in the first team just yet. Anyway, defending needed to be done here. Chelsea with the ball at the edge of the box. Lind's tackle. I mean, he very nearly got on the end of it, but it wasn't quite enough. Ruiz now making his way into the box. Nice block once. Can we get in another block? We absolutely can. Can we get in a third block? No, this time he plays it short to Alberg. Chelsea committing a lot of men forward, and oh my word, Toby, what an insane stop that was. That long shot looked destined for the top corner, and instead he's managed to turn it over, and while Piotr, with his just insane jumping reach, leaps like a salmon, gets it away. 20 minutes left. I've been talking a lot about salmons lately in episodes. I need more jumps like, I mean, we could go with like gazelle to antelope jump. I don't know. Who do I want to take off here? I might take off Lind. Lind's been misplacing a few passes. I'm going to bring in Adrian Smith. There is still a highlight going against us here, but it's offside. It's fine. Breathe a sigh of relief, everyone. Calm down, Jack. You're okay, son. Also worth noting, United play later today. I think we'll continue forward a few times just to see how they get on in their game. But a win here ensures that we will stay top of the league. Chelsea had some chances in the second half. We didn't really have too many, but the damage was done in that first half, and we looked very good at the back. Didn't concede too many opportunities. keep another clean sheet, and for the second time in a row, we've gone to Stamford Bridge in the league, and we're going to come away with a pretty convincing win, and Largo gets man of the match against his former club. I'm sure that is going to go down like a lead balloon. Chelsea fans, I'm sure, are delighted at that penalty he scored for us. He's looked very, very good. Unfortunately, Manchester United also look very good. They have won 4-0 in their game, and it might feel a little premature to say it, only 13 games into the season. It is very much looking like it's going to be a two-horse race this Premier League campaign. But anyway, gang, that is going to wrap up everything from me today. I hope you enjoyed the little run-through of the squad. I know for some people, they don't enjoy it when I talk extensively, but for me, Football Manager is about the nitty-gritty details, and sometimes it's nice to paint a picture in your mind of the hierarchy, kind of my current feelings and sentiment towards certain players. And, it helps provide a little bit of context when we do, of course, go into matches. You can see here the Chelsea manager, this is the Arsenal manager, has conceded he's unlikely to sign Lind. Good, because he's not for sale, even at 150 million. I wouldn't sell him. He's invaluable for us. He's still improving as well, everyone. David Lind, I think he could turn into just an exceptional player. I say that like he's not been playing regularly for a number of years. Like his average ratings do him dirty, but that's just deep line playmakers in FM21, isn't it? Anyway, I'm going to take a gap there. We've got upcoming games in the Champions League where we can afford to rotate the team. A few players already needing a rest. In terms of next time, we're going to come back into a double header, I think. We're going to do the games against Manchester United and maybe Liverpool, maybe Tottenham. I'm not sure on which yet. Either way, couple of big games on the horizon. For those of you who like matches, tomorrow is going to be a day for you. And well, until then, it is me, Jack, and I will talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.